to say hi, okay?
Floppy.
Welcome to the show, what we're calling the Free4All, the BMFWrestling Free4All to be precise. And this show is basically we're going to be ranting about any topics that come up during the week. Now, anyone who's actually subscribed to the channel may have seen I put up a Raw review earlier this week. I should be using the microphone. Put up a Raw review earlier this week, but I took it down. When I filmed it and edited it, it was terrible quality, so I decided to take it down and do the whole thing over again from scratch.
Because nobody could hear what you were saying.
Well, I did manage to make the background music a little too loud, so I'm thinking just a little bit of Vampiro dick. Keep going, bitch. Anyway, so I decided to reshoot the whole thing again as our free-for-all this week. A couple of other things as well, whatever the question Vampiro was in front of me, always like put me on the spot, make me answer various questions and all that kind of shit. So to start it off this week, we're just going to get into my Raw review again. Vampiro has seen, if not heard, most of the stuff anyway, so we can put in himself, and we'll go from there.
But before we get started on that, I just wanted to get your thoughts on something. Last episode, we were cut short because of time, and I got started to asking you something about Hulk Hogan. Now, what are your thoughts on him? Because I know that once upon a time you used to be a bit of a Hulkamaniac yourself. So the Hulk Hogan that you see now in TNA, and just what you're seeing on Twitter and everything like that, what are your thoughts on him right now?
Alright. Hogan?
Do you want the spot? Do you want to rant? Or
it's a complicated situation. I grew up a Hulkamaniac. As a kid, you can ask my friends, family. Hulk Hogan was the shit. I remember being a kid trying to do a leg drop on my brother and him putting his foot up and collecting me right in the testicles. Various forms of me trying to incorporate him over the years. I loved the dude up until I found out what he really was. And that was maybe a few years back when you start to learn, you hear all the, thank you to the internet community for this, but all the sharing of backside, inside secrets, as well as other former wrestlers and whatnot shooting over the years, is you find out how much of a scheming, conniving, backstabbing, lying piece of shit the man truly is. And, all these years in the 80s, he was saying, eat your prayers, say your vitamins. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. And you would be like him.
I think he had a different kind of vitamin in
Yeah, well that's it. He didn't tell you that his vitamins were anabolic steroids and all his growth hormones and cocaine and marijuana and all the forms of illegal narcotics that he was on at the time. This is a guy that children were looking up to. And how he's doing all this.
And how he still has a job is beyond me.
He still has a job because he still has a name. That's the only reason. I mean, when he went to TNA, I thought, okay, maybe this might bring some legitimacy to TNA, because I wanted TNA to do good. Because, the better TNA gets, the more competition WWE has. WWE hasn't been the same since WCW shut down. They need that competition to constantly try and strive forward. He hasn't done shit. If anything, he's hindered the program. He keeps pushing the same guys. He hogs up too much camera time on TV himself. I mean, it's Hulk Hogan. You don't want to flaunt him like 10 times in a show. It's just, I think he's done more harm to the company than he has done good.
And it just seems that all he's trying to do is use TNA to promote himself further and further.
Well,
it seems to be all about Hogan.
They've actually shown that in various media interviews that he's actually done. He's gone on there to promote other things, and he hasn't said word one about TNA.
It's all about himself.
It's all about his shit. He wants to promote his, his friggin' midget wrestling, or his this, or this.
His video game that I wouldn't even call it a video game. That was it's like two Play-Doh wrestlers trying to wrestle each other. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid. And the fact that it's like even costing.
You played that piece of shit?
No, I saw the footage.
I was gonna say.
I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't even go near it. The fact that it's on the shelf is a joke.
Point of what we're trying to say, in summary, Hulk Hogan, you're a douchebag, fucking retire, burn in hell for all eternity, please never come back to WWE. If Vince takes you back, he deserves a slap in the face anyway because you fucked him over. Again.
And stop checking out your daughter's legs.
Yeah. What is it with you and the relationship with your daughter, man? Is she your daughter or is she your missus? You know the shit you go on about and photos of her legs and how you carry on with her? Sounds like you want to tap that. It's your daughter, you sick freak. Bad enough that your new wife is bloody as young as her. Fucking weirdo. This past Raw, which came from somewhere in the United States, or Canada, which is usually where the shows come from, mostly the United States, was on the 10th of March at some point. That's American time. If you're Australian, ignore that. It's the one we watched, just the week ago. Yeah, whatever, because we don't get it on time, because we're second-class citizens to the WWE.
And if you're wondering what year it is, then...
Yeah, this past Raw from 2008.
Yes.
Anyway. Ups and downs show. I had a lot to say on it. That's why I put up my 20-minute rant on about how bad and how good some things were. And it was just a lot of emotion was caused through this.
Well, how did Kickstart?
Kickstart? I can't remember. Kickstart, of course I remember. It started off with Taker coming out to do his little kneel down salute to Paul Bearer and being interrupted by the straight edge savior, CM Punk, who came out and completely dismissed Paul Bearer's death, which was a little disrespectful in hindsight. Yeah, the guy did really die, but I can see why they did it, just to get Punk more heat and add more personal.
I'm pretty sure behind the scenes Punk did show a lot of respect to
No, I'm sure of that, anyone who's anybody knows that Punk is very respectful to the people in the people in the business, and Paul Bearer is one of them. I'm sure even CM Punk would see that, as much as an asshole as the man really is. I'm sure he would still see that Paul Bearer did contribute a lot and would have a lot of respect for him. On top of that, Punk came out, put over their match at Mania, and then his music played and he seemingly left. And then we come back from commercial. I've already ranted on this, so I'll try not to do too much. Come back from commercial, we see what happened on the WWE app exclusive, which was Kane came out, had the shits with CM Punk a little bit, I think. He came out and tried to choke slam him off the stage. Punk got away, which would later lead to a match with Punk and Kane. Now,
all of this would not have been necessary to put it all on the app if they didn't have so many commercials and replays.
You have a 3-hour show, how can you not fit everything on it? Seriously, how do you go overtime in a 3-hour show? This show went 10 minutes into overtime on a 3-hour show. What is this, fucking Nitro? Where they're not constrained by their 3-hour time limit? Does WWE produce that much good product that 3 hours is not enough to contain it?
You gotta remember, they have at least an hour and a half of replays.
3 hours, let's say seriously, I don't need a mic for this shit. Fuck the TNA mic. 3 hours, for starters, is too long. When you fill that with pointless shit, like say, replaying the same shit that happened at the beginning of the night 10 times over on the same show. Like if you get John Cena on The Rock on a show, Jesus Christ, all you watch is the replays with the occasional match.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. When your show is so long that you have to replay it so people remember what happened, then your show's too long. It's time to cut it back to 2 hours.
Well, you got to remember, because now that they got John Cena in there, there's a lot of 9-year-olds in there that
the attention spans. Sorry, all you 9-year-old John Cena fans. We didn't mean to dish you. Well, we did, but nevertheless, we'll try not to do it as much. Okay. So it's probably it's like midday, it's past your bedtime, so you should probably get to sleep. Anyway, on top of that, the whole time constraint thing again, how about you contribute that 3 hours to actual superstars that people give a shit about? For instance, I don't need 10 minutes of my time fucking wasted with a see, I can't pronounce his name. I can't pronounce his name, that means he's not going to show up. Fandango. Anyone who has listened to us or watched us or whatever knows that I'm a listener of the Solid Monster Sounds Off. I recommend everyone download his podcast. He's much better than this than we